What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time dropping in, Tommy Kentner here, and today we got the one and only technician, Adrian, and he's like the 1-2 part to TK Auto Works. If you don't know, yeah,
hasn't always been like that.
No,
it is now.
Yeah, so, but we're just going to get him on here, do the podcast thing, because we've just been covered up, and I've been doing them on the weekends, and I'm not going to tell him to come in on the weekends just to shoot a video, but we actually had some time during the week.
Yeah.
Finally. Yesterday was pretty rough, and we stayed late.
Yeah, I mean, it was overall, it wasn't really that bad of a job. It's just a couple things fought, and there's a lot of stuff to fit all into one day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you guys know Anthony. You know, we helped him get the trans in his car squared away finally,
Yep.
and it just turned into one of those kind of jobs that, you know, it just tests you from time to time. So
Yeah, and it's an older car, so
yeah.
You're gonna get that.
Yeah, especially when somebody else has their hands in it. You know, before Anthony bought it, even that somebody had been working on it quite a bit, and you know, just there was things, bolts that were weird size and stuff like that that, you know, me and Anthony sorted out and fixed, and you know, he's going to continue on
Right.
with his progress of the car itself too. So
Yep. Yeah, and he's ordered a few things, but we're going to bring Adrian on here and see what his goals are for 2023 with his car, or maybe another venture.
yeah, who knows?
Yeah, so like I said, we just want to sit down and go over with y'all and get y'all's thoughts too. So what we've been kind of thinking of, I guess say the R&D.
Yeah.
Because
So I guess to back up,
yeah,
in TK Auto Works, right? Yes, you got the white GTR, right? I don't know if you guys remember the white GTR. We had like the scare video of his aunt and stuff like that. Like that, and a couple other things. It was a good car.
yes,
But that car Tommy bought completely built and ready to go already. And it was kind of always a plan to be a flip car, like maybe have some fun with it and overall flip it. But we hadn't built that car.
yeah, yeah. We didn't do it personally.
Yeah, so jump forward a little bit. One of our friends had a shell with motor that was getting built, offered it to Tommy, and I was like, somehow I managed to talk Tommy into letting me buy it instead of him getting it. So long story short, we back up to my GTR, the black GTR, the R32. That was kind of like the first old school GTR build we did for TK Auto Works,
Yeah.
well, with TK Auto Works, however you want to say it.
Well, in-house.
In-house, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, motor, turbo kit, you know, the entire car was built, you know, either in TK Auto Works or in my personal garage. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I guess, like Tommy was saying, you know, plans, the car still runs, drives. I took my father-in-law for his first ride in it last weekend, which was entertaining. But there's a couple things I'm unhappy with the car. Power not being one of them. The car makes stupid power,
Right.
and it's a handful to drive. But I'm not a huge fan of the manual transmission. I know a lot of people are going to give me hate for that. My type of driving, my type of racing, I like drag racing.
Right.
Eighth mile, quarter mile, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I've ordered some parts for the
Right.
GTR. But I'm kind of at an impasse, I
Yeah.
guess. And I'm not sure where I should go forward. And I guess we'll talk about that here on the podcast today, and maybe get your guys' input to kind of think what you guys would like to see, or maybe what you would do if you were in my shoes.
Yeah.
So
My thoughts on it, because he's going to, well, number one reason why the GTRs wasn't allowed over here, they are not the safest car. So, like I was telling him, we should find a shell, and then we should go belligerent on the shell, versus him losing his, you know, daily ability car.
yeah,
That it's, you know, once you turn it into a race car, it just isn't the same. It's kind of like you know, having a jet ski, I would say.
Yeah.
And you can only use it, you know, 6 months maybe out of the year, versus, you know, right now you could just drive it anywhere. So I was like, maybe you reel your day, you know, not daily, but you reel that GTR back, and then we kind of just dump a lot of money in the shell, you know, full car cage it,
Yeah.
and just go belligerent, because Adrian doesn't know how to reel back. It's
No.
just like
All or nothing. So to preface all this, you know, we have already ordered a SFI case billet turbo 400 automatic 3-speed transmission for the car, trans brake, dual dump valves, spool valves. I mean,
the works.
yeah, it's literally every option that you can buy for the trans
Yes.
is ordered.
And we actually ordered 2 of them.
Yeah,
And I only
for-
say that because the car's fun.
So yeah, so we ordered that. That's going to keep the car all-wheel drive still, but it will be a 3-speed automatic with trans brake. It's a manually shifted auto.
Yes.
So that's going to help a lot with the drag racing.
Yeah.
So currently, it can be argued that the stock R32 33 trans
Right.
has an issue with, if you try to power shift into the third gear, it can break third gear.
Yes.
Some people say they've had cars that make tons of more power and it never has a problem, you know, but me being me, I can't just have that in the back of my head. The car definitely makes the power to break the gear
And the block.
and the block, yeah. So if anybody is new to the channel, my R32 GTR made just shy of 900 wheel horsepower on just under 40 pounds of boost.
And it ran out of gate.
And it ran out of wastegate. That's the only reason we stopped turning it up, is it ran out of wastegate, and it had done, I don't even know how many dyno pulls at that point. It was on the dyno for almost 10 hours. He just ran it through the ringer the entire time. And it's shown, because the car has been great since, you know. It has its quirks.
Besides the intake manifold.
Yeah. Levi. You know what I'm talking about, Levi.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure anybody that's bought that eBay special.
Yeah, and that's kind of an RB specific thing.
Yeah.
Like the 2J ones probably don't have the same issue, but
Because it
who
has
knows?
water coming through the passages.
Yeah.
But he's since ordered a plasma man, but
Yep.
then he kind of went down the wormhole.
Yeah. So, so me being me, you know, all of our friends will say the same thing. Josh, Landon, everybody that knows me.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows me will know that I can't just leave anything alone. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I truly think there's 2 kinds of car people. There's people that enjoy the build process of building a car and the actual like building of the car.
Yep.
And then there's the people that love driving the car. And I definitely fall more into that category of I love building the car. I don't get me wrong, I still love driving the car. I
Yeah.
enjoy driving it. But I build cars to the point to where when I drive them on the street,
Yeah.
it's like it starts getting sketchy, or like
Right.
you can't even use half the power you want to use because you know
You don't have
you'll get in trouble.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to. I might have a
Yeah.
clip right
Whoop,
here to drop.
Yeah. So we bought the trans.
Yep.
It's supposed to be we're supposed to be going to pick it up any minute, any day
Yeah.
now. I've actually messaged him today, you know, so hopefully, let's see. Actually, he actually just texted me back. So the billet bell housing and billet adapters have been shipped. So he
Yeah.
said that the trans are pretty much ready. So
And they got it's a full reed case. So
Yeah, it's a reed case.
Anybody knows transmissions.
yeah,
like,
reed case, billet bell housing, billet adapter, billet input and output shafts. I mean, it's
just the works.
they rate the trans at like 2200 horsepower.
Yeah.
So now that in turn fixed our weak third gear problem, but it opened up a new problem as to RB26s are somewhat known
Notoriously.
for okay, RB26s all-wheel drive. The oil pan is cast into the oil pan,
Yes.
right? So that force that goes through the front diff is also going through the oil pan, which happens to flex the cast iron block, and you'll sometimes get the crack from a head stud down to a water jacket, I
Yep.
believe, or an oil jacket, in the side of the block.
in the cylinder.
Yeah. And that's on the outside of the block.
Yeah.
So in Australia, they just GAB weld that crap and just keep going. You know, it's not a huge deal.
Right.
But they're also known when they cast the blocks and they set the sleeves into the cylinders, the sleeves kind of walked a little bit. So you don't really know until it happens, but
Yep.
you can have a cylinder wall that ends up being thinner on one side than the other. And when you start pushing power too much, you can crack that cylinder. And actually, I don't know if Tommy can, but we can post a picture of an example
Yeah.
of that
Yeah,
other
I
block
put
we
it in.
have. We have a block in the back that
That done
has
it.
that done to it.
Yep.
And that can, no matter how much you prepare, that can happen at any point.
Yeah, because when they, especially in Australia, they actually, when they have to hone the block and stuff, they mic it to see what the thicknesses is, and then they hone towards which way to keep. They're trying to keep like a minimum of 3 mil thickness.
Yep. So you can get away from the diff flexing the block.
Right.
You can almost completely alleviate that with the Platinum Racing Products brace,
Yep.
which you can get a main cap integrated brace and a standard brace. That pretty much gets rid of that flex, but there is no fix for the cylinder wall issue.
Well, there's one.
Yeah, there is one. And that kind of leads us into the next part of this conversation.
Right.
So, as many of you know, I have this 2013 STI that I'm selling. If anybody wants one.
Fresh motor.
Yeah. I'm in the process of putting together a completely billet short block, going from a 2.6 to a 3.6, having bullet CNC machine the head,
Yep.
custom cam package, and I mean going all out.
Literally.
12 injectors, 6 of them being on methanol, 6 of them being on either E85 or 93, mechanical fuel pump, cage, all the safety that we need.
Right.
I mean, everything. So that leads us into the kind of where I'm kind of torn up this year, beginning of this year, is my GTR currently runs and drives.
Right.
Doesn't have any major issues. Once I put that intake manifold on, it'll kind of alleviate the couple little things that I don't like. And then I can either put this new billet block and everything into my black R32 and just go full crazy with it. But my car is a pretty clean car.
No, I mean, it really is.
And I could, instead of doing that, put a slightly smaller turbo on mine.
Right.
Maybe step down to a G40, G35, 64, 66, something like that. And kind of make it more of a streetable car and be able to go to, local Cars and Coffee, go to Nashville, drive it wherever.
Yeah,
Enjoy it.
step it back and then drive it more.
Yeah, and then find another GTR R32 shell that maybe isn't quite as clean as mine,
Yeah.
and just go insane on that.
Yeah.
Full, 25-2 or whatever
Everything,
chassis, all-wheel drive. I mean, big drag tire, parachute,
The works,
everything.
Yeah.
And I would still want it to
That's
be.
my vote.
And I'd still want it to be what I really want to build is like a drag week inspired car, which if you're not familiar with drag week, it's this like new type of drag racing that's
Yeah.
been out the last couple of years and been getting really popular, where you go to a track, you make your passes, you get your time, you submit your time, and then you and one other person that's riding with you hop in the car with all your tools. If you need to swap tires, you got to carry the tires with you. You can only have the car that you're drag racing, and you have to drive that car across the street or down the streets 200 to 400 miles, go to another track, unload everything, do it again,
Yep.
and you got to do that for a week straight. If the car breaks, only you and your co-pilot can work on it and fix it. Otherwise, you get disqualified, and that's really what I want to build the GTR for, because it really has no reason to be in that kind of racing.
Yeah.
And it would really, I truly think that if we were to do something like that, like, there's no way that it wouldn't get attention for TK Auto Works. It wouldn't get,
Yeah.
for the YouTube and everything like that. You don't see these cars every day, let alone these cars
Yeah.
doing what. I mean, my car's even capable of now if we could get it to go A to B.
Right.
So,
And, well, I just feel like with the volume that we're getting these cars in now, like,
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy because I think it was a comment on here that when we was at our other shop, because I think we had like 6 or 7 of them, and it's like, that's on Crossan Avenue.
yeah. Yeah. Now we're on Riverside.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I'm kind of torn, and you guys can help me with this. You know, the more people telling me what they think might be the good idea. Tommy and a couple of my other friends are like, let's find another shell. Let's keep yours kind of tamed back so you can still cruise with us to local meets and stuff like that. Let's build another, crazy car, something that we put, like a TK wrap on and stuff like that, and try to show what we can do when we go full race effort. Yeah. But there's other options too. I've had the itch for a rotary lately. So, maybe I still put all the billet and go full race car with my black R32, but maybe I
don't go as far
and maybe get like a FD. I've been really looking at FD RX-7s lately. And maybe nothing that makes massive power. I just want it to make the good old rotary noises.
Brock.
Yeah, yeah. Just some tasteful stuff under the hood, nothing crazy. And then we'd kind of have like 90% of the JDM Legend cars here at TK AutoWorks with the Supra. And
pick up an NSX and then have them all.
Yeah.
They're like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
So that's an option also, the RX-7 is. I also have a soft spot for the Evo 5, which becomes legal this year. If you guys didn't know, I was a big DSM guy.
Right.
Not that long ago. I had a pretty nasty, crazily built DSM that, long story, I ended up getting rid of.
Choking.
And then we ended up going down a whole bunch of wormholes with the big turbo Corvette, and
got ripped off on the transmission.
And then parted that out, and that's when the GTR came to be. Yeah. And it's actually it's like last week was 2 years since we got the GTR.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So
dang.
the car's been running for almost a year now.
Yeah.
So
dang, it just seems like not so long ago we was gonna go pick it up on your red trailer.
Yeah. We got a new trailer now and everything. New truck, new trailer, new shop.
New year, new you.
So yeah, RX-7, Evo 5, another GTR chassis.
Pro mod build.
Pro mod RB. Now, my number one pick would probably be the Pro mod chassis, but we're having a hard time finding one. We found a couple cars, but what they're asking for them versus what is being available it wouldn't be bad if we could, with all the other cars that we have coming in and out, if we can, part up the stuff that we're not going to use on the Pro mod chassis and be able to put it towards those other cars. But a lot of the cars we're finding that are in the price range that they're not worth restoring and selling ourselves and turning into said race car, there's not enough left on the bone to make it worth it.
Yeah, because
I'm not looking for a $25,000 chassis that I'm just going to cut all up. Because we're putting a significant amount of bars in this car.
Right. Well, yeah, and then just finding one of these cars under $20,000 is kind of a crapshoot. So.
Yeah, and we're looking. I don't care about paint. I don't care if it runs. It doesn't need a motor. I'm not going to have any of that stuff.
Doesn't need a motor. Doesn't need a transmission.
No, doesn't need much interior. I want to keep some of the interior, like the dash and door cards, if I can, if they'll fit in the cage. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know that follow, but like when you start looking at how much power versus cage and what drag racing and stuff requires you to have. My car's already well into the category needing quite a cage already. We're already, if the car went A to B, we're already theoretically in the single digits, easily. And this billet block setup, once we go that route, they rate that engine at about 2,000, 2,200. The trans is rated at 2,000, 2,200. Dry sump, everything. Literally, just give me everything. And, so it's right there. It's just waiting for me to pull a trigger on something, and I'm being very indecisive.
Yeah, well, not really indecisive. I would just, like I was telling him, I just wouldn't take, like, if it was a busted GTR, I'd be all for it. But like you said, it is actually really clean. And now that he's owned it, it's even cleaner. But once again, you're weighing that option where it's like, especially in Tennessee, you you buy your jet ski, but you can only use it 6 months out of the year. And just to me, because the weather's so crazy, it was like 30 Saturday and it's like 70 today.
Yeah,
like,
shorts weather today.
So I mean, it's like, well, damn, I could have drove it in.
Yeah.
Like,
and the only thing stopping me from driving it a lot more now is the clutch that I had to put in the car to be able to handle the power. It's when I get stuck in traffic when I leave for work at the end of the day, it sucks. But
we did get some confirmation on the clutches we run in the STIs that we kind of love.
Yeah.
Well, not kind of love, we do love, because
Yeah.
it drives like OEM and holds 900 horsepower.
Yeah.
So they are working on it. So.
Yeah, they're supposed to be coming out potentially this year sometime.
Yeah.
So if that happens, that would really set me up good for the manual. And then
put the drive-by-wire on it.
Yep, put the drive-by-wire and everything like I was going to anyway.
Yep.
And step down to a smaller turbo because right now the car makes 900 wheel. I don't think I've ever turned it up to the full 900 wheel. Just it doesn't need it on the street.
No.
Nobody's ever seen or heard the car launch, rolling anti-lag, anything like that, and been, man, I wish you would have turned it up more. Like everybody's completely content with what they see usually.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, on the street, you don't want to get too crazy.
So I could easily put a turbo that's rated for, say, we make 700 wheel or so, and the car would be way more streetable and usable. And we'd probably end up with a lot more power under the curve, which would mean we'd have a lot longer power band versus mine's kind of peaky right now.
Yeah, probably like 5 to 9.
Yeah. Whereas right now, mine takes a little while to spool up, but once it spools up, it's like it hits you in the head of the brick.
Right.
So, which is awesome. I mean, and it'd be fine once we go auto, because once we go auto, we don't got to worry about spooling up.
Yeah.
It'll always be in boost, so that's fine. But I don't want to put that auto behind the engine I have now, because that's going to put extra stress on the block itself.
Right.
And these engines are going for so much money now that I don't want to just
throw
away the engine, which is
$10,000
of a built motor away, maybe even more.
I mean,
so
the GTR market's crazy.
Yeah, and then I got a fully built head now too.
Yeah.
So, trying to weigh all those options has been hectic lately. I've just been buckling down and working. That's all I've been doing.
He's so distraught over this.
I don't got very many things to worry about in life anymore. So
right.
All I get to worry about is my first world problems of what I'm going to do with my 1,000 horsepower GTR. So.
But guys, let us know what you think in the comments, and we appreciate you joining us. If there is anything you would like to see us discuss.
Yeah, maybe future builds, TK AutoWorks specific stuff,
Yeah, because our major goal is the next couple months to get caught up, and then hopefully have time to kind of feature and work on our own stuff.
Which we are getting pretty caught up nowadays. We got pretty much all we really got around here is big builds and one or two small ones, really.
Yeah, I mean,
but we got a couple big builds coming up.
But at the new location, I'm trying to get it where we're working on keeping the schedule pretty tight, and then that way, I just don't want to keep nothing outside because it's a liability, and I only want to be able to keep what we're working on at that moment, and then just not getting piled up outside. So we're really trying to, get that nailed down, and then, like I said, I think once we get caught up, it won't be a problem. But where we was pretty much closed for 3 months, it has really caught up with us. But like I said, Adrian's been knocking it out and trying to stay on top of these videos, and I'm trying to get one a day for the rest of the month out there. And so we're going to start doing these podcasts and stuff. So hit that subscribe button and join us in the next episode. Peace.